following WCIA3's sports presentation is brought to you by Lohman Ray Insurance Group and Illinois State University. This is the Friday Football Fever Kickoff Show.
Welcome to the Friday Football Fever Kickoff Show. Brett Behrens, Marley Weirda, and Andy Olson with you here for the next half an hour. We've got a jam-packed show all dedicated to high school football.
Kickoff is less than 24 hours away, and it's been a long time coming for so many athletes, coaches, and fans.
Last time prep football was played in the fall in Illinois was November 2019, but it's back, and dare we say, looks like normal.
Maybe a little dangerous at this point, I don't know. We'll break down where we've been, more importantly, where we're headed as play continues through the COVID-19 pandemic. We'll hear from some of the area's best players, coaches, and programs with some good stories along the way. Plus a roundtable conversation centering on the big conference shift with the Vermilion and Sangamon Valley joining forces.
But the fact that games are happening just 4 months after the spring season wrapped up is the biggest story. For the first time in IHSA history, we'll have 2 high school football seasons in the same year.
It's certainly unique, but the players say they don't mind. They're just happy to get the chance to suit up in meaningful games once again.
I feel like we had plenty of time to get better, and we had a short season, so we didn't get beat up that bad. So we all feel good, pretty good right now.
I love it though. So being right back to football after a couple months off, it's what I prefer because it's my favorite thing to do. So just getting back out here and getting right back to it, picking up where we left off from last year.
Only playing 4 games, we really feel like our guys are healthy. They're still charged up. They're still excited about being out here, which is something that's really important to us.
After a 6-week COVID-shortened season in the spring, we're back to a full 9-week schedule this fall.
The playoffs are also back. They were punted in the spring as part of the state's return to play guidelines. All 8 state championship games are currently scheduled for the 2 days following Thanksgiving in DeKalb. Rochester and Williamsville both won state titles in 2019. That was the last time a state series was played in football, making them the defending state champs.
Currently, all outdoor sports are not required to wear masks when playing or practicing. That's the good news for football, but indoor sports must wear masks at all times, per Governor Pritzker's executive order announced earlier this month. The only IHSA indoor fall sport is volleyball. Everyone is included in the policy, including spectators, coaches, officials, and staff. The rules, though, can change at any time.
And that's the difficult part for IHSA Executive Director Craig Anderson, Marley, who is still at the mercy of the state. I sat down with Anderson in July to recap a year he'd frankly like to forget.
Indeed, the Illinois Department of Public Health and Governor's Office significantly limited high school sports, changed seasons, masks, lawsuits, protests, and no playoffs were all part of the daily struggle Anderson and his staff faced as thousands of coaches, athletes, and fans across the state struggled with the fallout. Anderson says the IHSA can't continue if there's another year like 2020, with the nonprofit organization absorbing 6-figure losses through it all. He's tried to remain optimistic.
We've continued to be excited about kids and their competition. We've tried to be a positive light and an encouragement to our students to know that we will return, and we hope to return stronger than ever. There was a bit of wondering at our survival rate, would we get through this? And we've been strong throughout and supportive of one another, supportive of our membership, tried to be in communication with our membership throughout.
To watch my full 20-minute conversation with Craig, head to our website, WCIA.com.
Some good news now. Marcus Forrest is back on the field. The Danville football coach is just 6 months out from a heart transplant, but he's been completely cleared to return to coaching. Forrest's heart was functioning at just 5% at Christmas due to congestive heart failure. After sitting out the spring season to focus on recovery and rehab following surgery, the 46-year-old is grateful for the chance to be on the sidelines once again.
I'm extremely excited and happy to be here and happy to be out here with the kids, and a lot of it with my rehab. Every time I'm getting up walking is to be able to get back to do the things that I need to be able to do. And knowing part of my purpose is actually being out here with the kids. So I was extremely just goal-oriented and saying, man, I got to get this stuff taken care of, because ultimately August 9th, I want to be back there on the field and going.
Danville opens up the season hosting Central.
So great to see Marcus back with the Vikings and doing so well, Andy. And from Danville to Gibson City, where the community is still trying to clean up after major flooding just 2 weeks ago. Marley has more on the recovery effort and how the football team is pitching in.
That's right, Brett, but the streets of Gibson City are still lined with trash, debris, damaged furniture. It's clear the impact of the historic flood is still being felt in the community. But through it all, the Falcons rallied together to help their neighbors, and they say it's only brought them closer. It's a day Gibson City won't be forgetting anytime soon.
Cars stranded in the middle of the roads, people stranded walking. It was a horrible day to see those things.
But there he was in the middle of it all. GCMS head coach Mike Allen didn't hesitate to help first responders rescue people from their homes.
Completely, 3 foot, 4 foot of water in their homes or apartments. So just being able to help them get out that day.
Gibson City received more than 9 inches of rain in less than a day that ended up flooding the entire city. GCMS sophomore Carson Maxey had 5 feet of sewage water in his basement.
It felt like a movie. Like, we didn't even know what was going on. Like, we were spacing out, just cleaning out the water out of our house. I tried to save as much as I could before it got too high.
But there was still so much that was left behind.
This was my room.
His bedroom was completely destroyed in the flood.
Not really much in here, but I had all my clothes in here and we had to wash all of them.
The Falcons cornerback says he's grateful no one was hurt, and he was back on the field practicing just days later. The team also led a community effort to help clear out damaged items from people's homes.
We realize sometimes we don't give our teenagers enough credit. These teenagers stepped up and just did a phenomenal job in our community.
While Gibson City still has a long way to go in their relief efforts, the Falcons hope football can be something to strengthen the community this fall.
When someone's down, someone needs help, people are there no matter what it is. We're as close as a team as we've ever been.
And what a moment that will be when the Falcons kick off the season on Saturday. There are also several relief funds set up for those affected by the flood. You can find that information on our website, WCIA.com. Brett?
Marley, thanks. Time for our first break, but we've got so much more to come on the Friday Football Fever Kickoff Show. We highlight and hear from some of Central Illinois' best players heading into the season, then bring in 4 area coaches to break down a big chance to 2 conferences. But first,
when his grandkids come out here, they'll always see that and think that's Pawpaw's field.
A Hall of Fame coach is recognized with a special honor after a nearly 3-decade career. Dick Duvall arrived at St. Joseph Ogden High School in 1988 as a young coach looking to get his start. Safe to say, he left his place in Spartans lore. That legacy was forever cemented last Friday as the school honored the Hall of Fame coach with the football field named in his honor. Duvall is battling pancreatic cancer, but was there for the ceremony with his family as thousands showed up to support him. It's a moment his son Kyle says they will never forget.
I think the biggest thing, and they said it through the speech, was how much he cared about his players and the coaches, and every single guy that came through this program, they mattered to him. He made them aware of that, and that's evident by all the people that showed up tonight. He said it earlier today, how when his grandkids come out here, they'll always see that and think that's Pawpaw's field. So it'll be a cool experience for them growing up, and it will definitely be cool for us seeing that.
Duvall ended his nearly 3-decade career with 251 wins and 5 trips to the state championship game. He never had a losing season. The talent level in the WCIA 3 viewing area this year is high with several Division I players.
It's going to make the race for the WCIA 3 Football Player of the Year a tight battle to the end.
We don't have time to list everyone, but here are a few players to keep an eye on, and we start with a pair of Illini commits. Rochester's Hank Beatty is a 3-star wide receiver who pledged to play for Illinois in early June after an official visit to campus.
Gibson City Melvin Sibley running back AIDAN LAUGHERY will be his future teammate. He committed live on air during a ceremony on the Falcons field in July, picking Illinois over Iowa. LAUGHERY recently announced he'll graduate early to join the Illini in January.
Springfield High senior Rashad Rochelle is a Rutgers commit. His numbers are outstanding as a quarterback, but he'll play receiver for the Scarlet Knights. More than 4,700 yards passing in his 3-year career so far, 1,900 plus rushing and 90 combined touchdowns, all with another season to go.
St. Teresa senior DENIM Cook also has impressive numbers in his 3 years as the running back. He has 327 carries for 2,944 yards and 41 touchdowns. No college offers yet for the 5'9", 200-pound tailback, but he's hoping another solid season leads to an opportunity to play at the next level.
Bring a lot of energy, hard work, and a winning mentality. Looking back on my freshman year, I was really young and learning. Now I know much more and I can help teach other people.
He continues to impress, and I think as the college coaches see this kid play on Friday nights, they'll want him on Saturday for sure.
Arthur Lovington Atwood Hammond's KADEN FEAGIN is just a junior, but has the best offer sheet out of all the players on our preseason watch list. Illinois, Notre Dame, Iowa, Michigan, and Wisconsin all want the 6'3", 221-pound do-it-all athlete.
Crazy, because like last year around this time, I was a normal kid, and then like it just changes like that. So it's really cool just getting the opportunities, because I know a lot of kids don't get opportunities like that, but it's been really fun seeing different places and going different places.
FEAGIN has already taken official visits to Illinois, Notre Dame, and Iowa.
Another name to keep an eye on, Mount Zion's Christian Cahey. The senior wideout is primed for a big season as the Braves go to receiver. College coaches are starting to take notice too, and you better not lose track of him. All Cahey needs is one step, and he'll be gone in a flash. When Mount Zion's Christian Cahey is on the field, no one is catching up with him.
It's always been definitely my best asset.
The 6'2", 172-pound senior's speed is starting to grab the attention of coaches at the next level. He spent the whole offseason showcasing it, finishing second at state in the 2A 100-meter dash and running a 4.53 40-yard dash at football camps.
By the end of this year, hopefully it'd be like a 4.45 around there before I go off to college.
After an eventful summer, Cahey now boasts offers from Central Michigan, Eastern Illinois, and North Dakota, but he's looking for more. The track and football star is coming off back-to-back 700-yard seasons on the gridiron and has his sights set on 1,000 yards this year.
My route running is going to be a lot smoother this year. Something I worked on a lot, all my cuts and everything.
Who will throw the ball to him is still a question mark after All-State quarterback Ashton Summers graduated. Sophomores Macoby Adams and Tyson Evans competed for the job in camp.
But we threw a lot in the summer, getting the chemistry right and everything, getting our routes timed up, stuff like that.
Cahey won't just be focused on running routes, but also defending them. He'll be starting at corner for the Braves for the first time in his career.
I mean, he can do it all. I think he's probably a better corner than he is receiver. I don't know if he'll tell you that.
Going into your senior year, not knowing where you're headed to school may be stressful for some, but Cahey is still going to enjoy every moment of his final high school football season.
Right now, I just want to focus on my senior year, and then whatever happens after happens, I guess.
Cahey is keeping his options open, certainly. He already has a few visits lined up this fall, including Illinois' season opener against Nebraska, before traveling to northern Iowa next month.
Would not be surprised to see Christian in the running for our play of the week. Every Monday throughout the season, we'll highlight 3 of the best plays our cameras filmed from Friday Football Fever. A fan vote determines our winner. We'll announce who has the top plays on Tuesdays. Our Coaches Roundtable is next. We also check in with new Urbana coach Edmund Jones, who is getting some help from a former Illini All-American. That story and more, all still ahead on the Friday Football Fever Kickoff Show. Welcome back to the Friday Football Fever Kickoff Show. Several teams are playing in new conferences this season as the ever-changing landscape of high school football continues to shift as teams come and leave leagues. The biggest change is in the Vermilion Valley, where there is now a North and South division. The Sangamon Valley is the new VVC North, minus Paxton Buckley Loda. More on the Panthers in a moment. The SVC and VVC joined forces. It's still 2 separate conferences, with each sending a champion to the playoffs, but it allows for easy crossover games between the two to round out the schedule. PBL goes to the Illini Prairie Conference, a move that has long been talked about and speculated. Now it's finally official. St. Thomas More going to 8-man football opened the door there. There will be even more change next year, with Olympia leaving the IPC for the Sangamo. So the moving and shaking continues, and to help break it all down, we welcome in 4 area coaches who have direct ties to all of this and what we've been talking about. And PBL's Josh Pritchard, SJO's Sean Skinner, Clifton Central's Brian Spooner, and Oakwood's Al Craig. Guys, before we get to any of that, we're talking about football in the fall. How good does that sound for you?
Oh, it's great. I mean, we're creatures of habit, so I know that just being able to have a full summer and actually know that you're working towards something in the fall has been awesome for us, at least.
Nothing better than a fall crisp evening, you know, late in the season. there's just something special about being out there in that atmosphere. So
there's the certain smell in the air right now for football season. You know, you get that smell, and grilling out, leaves are falling, and it feels good to be back in regular football for sure.
And what was this spring like for all of you guys as you try and put together a schedule? Some teams playing, some teams not. You're trying to work around COVID. You got kids that maybe are in other sports. How did you manage all that?
We talked all year about being light on our feet and being able to adjust week to week, because even though you might have a kid on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, he may not be there. So it was certainly beneficial. We needed to play. But it was unique.
But it is all building to this, and I'm curious about the changes, and especially for you guys. Do you feel like this is a step up for you, and how are you managing this new schedule this year?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely a step up. You know, we go from being the biggest school by quite a bit to being like the second or third smallest school. Not that there weren't, you know, good teams in the SVC. I think they would have had probably at least 2, if not 3 top 10 teams, you know, in different classes in the spring at least. But we know the IPC is just, you know, that's another animal that, you know, state champions and Hall of Fame coaches, and, you know, it's going to be rough for us, but, you know, we're hoping that we're up to that challenge.
They're a great matchup for us personally from SJO's viewpoint, but from a league standpoint, we couldn't ask for a better school. Competition-wise, football, obviously, they're going to be right in there. There are no off nights in our conference, and they fit right into that mold. All the other sports too.
But in the VVC, this is like all new in a sense. Obviously, you're having North and South Division, and the SVC is still represented in there, Brian, when you guys go north. But you do have these crossovers. How do you see all of that mixing together?
Well, I think we're going to mix pretty well, to be honest. We're pretty familiar, not all like recently, but, you know, from the time I started to now, we've played those schools here and there. So we're semi-familiar with what's going on, and I think it's a great fit for the two conferences to come together. I love the fact that we have a built schedule.
You know, we were playing a lot of the schools already. You know, in all my years at Oakwood, we've opened with Watsika every year. So, I mean, that's nothing new for us. And, you know, it just adds really good quality football teams that are our size. You know, you don't have to go searching for a game, and that helps a lot in the season. You know who you're playing. You don't have to worry about, well, I've never heard of this team that we have to travel to this week. I don't know what we're going to get or what we're going to expect. You know, it's just that comfort, you know, the comfort zone with us already playing each other, you know, several times. So we're excited about it, I know, and you know, I know we're looking forward to a good game with Clifton week 4. So
not enough time to play our full 15-minute conversation, but we've got it all posted now on our website, WCIA.com. More on the way as we take our final time out. Urbana has a new coach. There's a familiar face to Illini Nation with him. That story next.
Welcome back. This fall was supposed to be the start of districts in Illinois. The IHSA approved the move in December 2018, completely reshaping high school football scheduling and the playoff format.
Conferences would have disappeared, with schools from each class placed into 8 geographic groups to play a round-robin schedule. It would have stopped teams switching conferences in the drive to get to 5 wins in playoff eligibility.
Exactly 1 year later, the move was rescinded and everything was back to its current format. Maroa Forsyth head coach Josh Jostis was in favor of the move to districts at the time and says he doesn't expect anything to change anytime soon.
Our conference, you know, used to be Clinton, Warrensburg, Argenta, St. Teresa. You drew a 10-mile circle around Maroa and we could be at any one of our 4 of our 9 games. That stinks for our kids now because we don't have that. But it is what it is. I don't see districts coming back, no.
Urbana is a team that would love to find its way back to the postseason. The Tigers have struggled recently. They haven't won more than 1 game in a season since 2013. But new head coach Edmund Jones is doing his best to lay the foundation for a successful future. And as I found out, he's getting a little help from a former Illini All-American.
When Edmund Jones found out Mike Bellamy was in town and not coaching with the team yet this fall, the new Urbana coach didn't hesitate to pick up the phone.
I feel like I've been living right. That's why that happened. You know what I'm saying?
It's not every day a former second-round NFL draft pick is willing to join a high school team after spending the past decade in the college game.
And for him to have fallen in my lap the way that he did at such a late date in the process, he's been like a savior, really. I'm just being honest.
Bellamy was Lovie Smith's running backs coach for the past 2 seasons, his second stint as an assistant at his alma mater. The former All-Big Ten receiver had interest from several D1 programs after Brett Bielema didn't retain him, but decided to stay in the area for now. He wants to eventually get back to college football, but is taking this fall to be the Tigers' offensive coordinator.
It gives me the opportunity to be around football, to be around coaching, to learn. You're always learning, and then with some of the younger coaches and the players, I'm learning to give love back into the game.
Jones also spent years coaching college football, including stops at Eastern and Western Illinois. Both guys provide a lot of experience to an Urbana program looking to get back on the right track.
You can see what they're trying to do with the program. You can see how they're trying to get guys out here, how serious they are when they talk about the sport. It's motivating us to do better and all that. Just helping us build the program.
Kids have been absolutely great. They've done everything that we've asked them to do. And it's just like anything else, you want to prove everybody wrong. I know there's a lot of people that say Urbana football is not going to do this, they're not going to do that, but I guarantee you're going to see a change.
And it has about 35 kids out for football right now. Jones is focusing his efforts on the youth programs to build that number as he sets the foundation for long-term success.
We'll be highlighting one game of the week throughout the season with live broadcasts every Friday night. It all starts tomorrow night with the Cola Wars. 3 straight rivalry games with SJO and Unity Week 2, followed by the Leonard Bowl.
Bragging rights on the line in the Coles County Clash in Week 7 before 2 of the best Illini Prairie teams in Monticello and Prairie Central face off in Week 8. Then the top spot in Champaign is up for grabs to round out the season.
Athlete of the Week is also back every Thursday night at 6. We'll honor an area high school student with a trophy for their accomplishments. Then they go into the running for a $500 scholarship we'll award to 1 boy and 1 girl at the end of the school year. To nominate an athlete, head to our website, WCIA.com, to fill out this short form. That's going to do it for us tonight. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night at 10 for our first Friday Football Fever of the fall. It's going to be fun with highlights from more than a dozen games, reaction from the Cola Wars, and all your scores and more. For Marley Weir and Andy Olson, I'm Brett Behrens.
This has been the Friday Football Fever Kickoff Show, sponsored by Loman Ray Insurance Group and Illinois State University.